Okay, so in this game, I play as Fiora against Mordekaiser in the top lane. The runes I took for this game were Fleet Footwork, Triumph, Bloodline, Last Stand, Celerity, and Nimbus Cloak. So the reason for me taking these runes in particular was because I wanted to give myself as much healing as possible, which will help me for the early stage of the game, and also give myself as much movement speed as possible as well, because I'm not so experienced with Fiora, and I think that a combination of healing and movement speed makes it a lot easier for the way that Fiora is meant to be played. Now looking back, I can tell that Last Stand probably wasn't the best option. I probably should have gone for Coup de Grace, but Last Stand works quite well too, because Last Stand allows me to deal more damage when I'm on low health, which means that if I'm dealing more damage, then I can heal more when I'm on low health. So Last Stand isn't a bad option. And revolving your trades around Fiora's passive is the most important way to engage in battles with other champions. So what Fiora's passive does is she identifies a vital of an enemy champion that she is within sight of. So she can reveal a vital above, below, on the left or on the right of that champion, and these vitals change every 15 seconds, or they change after Fiora has actually attacked the opponent on their vital. And what you'd want to do in battles with enemy champions is prioritize attacking their vitals, because it does a number of things when you do that. So the first thing that attacking their vital does is it deals true damage to the enemy champion based on a percentage of their maximum health. In addition to that, it also recovers some of your health and gives you increased movement speed for a couple of seconds as well. The amount of true damage that you deal to the enemy champion when you hit their vital increases based on the amount of bonus attack damage that you have. So what you'll notice in this matchup against Mordekaiser is I'll try and engage in a trade with him when his vital is in a position where I can attack it quite easily. So for example, if his vital is on the right of him as it is now, I probably won't engage in a trade, because it's going to be very difficult for me to get around him to the back, attack him and get out without taking too much damage. Whereas if his vital is on the left hand side or on the bottom side of him, like it is right now, I can quickly attack the vital and exit, so that the trade is working in my favor, because I've done more damage to him than he could deal in those 1 or 2 seconds that I'm engaged with him. So here he's showing another easy vital, so I could get a takedown. Fiora's Q is probably her most important ability, because this ability moves her a short distance forward very quickly, and it performs an attack on the closest enemy vital that she can find. If she cannot find a vital, then it prioritizes an enemy that she can kill. So this can be used really effectively if an enemy vital is too far from you to be able to just walk over and attack. For example, if there's an enemy champion and I've attacked their vital, which is closest to me, and then their new vital reappears on the opposite side, using the Q to move myself a short distance forward very quickly, coupled with the passive ability that I've got extra movement speed because I've attacked the previous vital, which I mentioned earlier, all of that can allow me to attack the next vital very efficiently. So her Q is really important. And on top of all of that, her Q scales with her level and the amount of bonus attack damage that she has. So this Q can deal a lot of damage coupled with the passive.
An ally has been slain.
Fiora's W is a parry, in which she can essentially ignore any incoming damage or crowd control that she is targeted with for 0.75 seconds. And after this time, she lunges forward a short distance and attacks in the direction that she's facing when you've casted your W. Just like what you saw there. If she ends up hitting an enemy when she lunges forward, then she slows them for a short amount of time. But if she was able to parry a crowd control effect and then she hits an enemy when she lunges forward, instead of a slow, she actually stuns the enemy for a short amount of time. So the timing of the W is really important because you only get 0.75 seconds after you've pressed it to parry any abilities. And that's why Mordekaiser is actually a great way to practice your W, because Mordekaiser's abilities tend to have quite long animation periods. So Mordekaiser's Q, where he smashes down his mace, it takes quite a long time for when he starts to swing his mace until it actually reaches you, and you have all of that time to try and use your parry. Again, Mordekaiser's grab, when he tries to grab you, you can see the hand on the ground before it actually grabs you, and in that time, if you press W, you're able to parry it. So it gives you really good practice when to parry because of the long animation periods that Mordekaiser has for his abilities. He's getting way too confident here. He should be backing because I have my ultimate, which means I'm not even afraid to dive under his turret. So notice there how his vital was showing at the top part of him, so it wasn't easy to hit. But then his vital changed and it started showing below him, which was a lot easier for me to hit, and that's why I engaged. Right now bot lane look like they need help, so if I go I might be able to kill Swain, and if my bot lane help me then we'll probably be able to take them both. That was really good for our team, so I'm glad that I did notice. Fiora's third ability, so her E, is a series of 2 attacks with a high attack speed in between them. So she'll do it in very quick succession, and the second attack of those 2 will be a critical strike where she deals double the damage that she would in a normal attack. It's also an auto attack reset, so ideally you'd like to use that right after using an auto attack.
They dare not strike back.
Destruction unchained.
So I was quite greedy there. I really wanted the plate, so I stayed in the turret zone for way too long, and he took me into his realm. Good thing is, with Fiora, she's able to dodge really effectively using her Q, and because I've got 5 points on her Q, the cooldown is really low, so I was able to dodge his attacks quite effectively, and his ultimate was essentially wasted.
No escape.
So that is what Fiora's ultimate looks like, where she reveals all 4 vitals on the enemy champion. So if you hit any of the 4 vitals, then you deal true damage to the enemy, which is a percentage of their max health in damage based on your attack damage. So the more attack damage you have, the more percentage of their max health you can do. And I have checked, if you have a full build with the right items, you're able to do 100% of their health if you just do 4 auto attacks, as long as you hit all 4 vitals. So you're able to completely kill an opponent with full health with just 4 auto attacks, as long as you have a full build with the right items. So it is a pretty incredible ultimate. And if you are able to hit at least 1 vital and kill them, or if you hit all 4 vitals, then in the area around Fiora, she is able to heal herself as long as she stays in the area, and so can her allies. And that also scales with the bonus attack damage that you have.
I have no equal. An ally has been slain.
So Mordekaiser is playing smart now. He's only taken 2 deaths, and now he realizes that he can't 1v1 me, so he's going to stay under his turret.
Insolent hit.
So that area on the ground that you can see right now is the area that I was talking about when I was referring to her ultimate. And if you stand in that area, and if any of your teammates stand in that area, then they're healed for up to 5 seconds, I think. So it's really effective in team battles because all of your team can heal, and it really puts you ahead. So unfortunately, our first death. In a typical situation, I would have left, but again, I got a little bit greedy. I thought, oh, Rift Herald's still alive, maybe I could squeeze 1 more turret out of him, but didn't end up working out like that.
An enemy is unstoppable.
Right now, the items I've bought are Ravenous Hydra and Mercury Treads. Reason why I bought Ravenous Hydra is this is our key item in battles, essentially. It deals a lot of damage, it has an active ability which also deals damage, and it comes with a really high percentage of lifesteal. I think it's 18%, so that's a lot of lifesteal that you can get from battles. The reason why I bought Mercury Treads is because they have at least 4 people on their team building ability power. So they've got Diana, they've got Galio, they've got Swain, and they've also got Fiddlesticks. So they've got a lot of ability power on their team and quite a bit of CC on their team as well. So Mercury Treads help for that. So I've got my ultimate and I'm looking to use that on Swain because he's just got way too much power. Then once he's dead, I can heal because of my ultimate, and that'll help me kill Mordekaiser. The only thing using his ultimate did was stop me from taking damage from both Galio and himself.
Is this supposed to be a challenge?
So pretty good trade for us, and got out of that quite smoothly as well. And I've got enough money for Sheen now, so that'll really help deal a lot of damage with our basic attacks when you couple that with attacking a vital as well.
Others try. I succeed. Precision and grace.
There seems to be a nice couple of kills mid lane. No, wait for me. So that worked out really well. And if you noticed, the combination of lifesteal and last stand actually allowed me to live in that situation. Also, if you noticed just there when I was attacking that turret, I'm able to use my Q and my E, and off the top of my head I can't think of any other champions that can use 2 abilities on turrets. I know a lot of them can use 1, but Fiora is one of those that can actually use 2 abilities on turrets, which makes dropping turrets a lot more effective.
On my fine style.
So I've mentioned in previous videos how I like to prioritize heralds as a jungler rather than drakes, and then once the heralds go, then I prioritize drakes later. So that's the nice thing about being a top laner, because I know that a lot of junglers actually prioritize drakes. So even if that is the case, I can take heralds if my jungler chooses not to. So we were able to get 2 heralds this game, which really gives us an edge over the opponent. And hopefully this herald can allow us to take 1 inhibitor. So the problem here was I tried to signal to my jungler a couple of times to come and release the herald on this turret, because top lane is the best lane to be able to do that, but he prioritized taking jungle camps for a little bit too long, and now there's 2 of them which might be able to stop the herald. Well, it got 1 knock, which isn't too bad.
At once.
Enemy rampage. Enemy double kill.
Sharp blade, sharp mind. Bring them out to die.
Okay, so I know that I shouldn't have gone into that, and I regretted it as soon as I did, but that was a combination of me wanting to help my jungler, who was clearly stupid enough to jump in, but also a big ego because I was 8-1, so I just thought I'm so overpowered, I can just take on anyone, but clearly that's not the case. On top of that, considering that the score is very imbalanced, because they've got a lot more kills than us, that was not a good decision by any means. So yeah, really bad play on my part. My team did make up for it though, because now we had 3 deaths for 3 kills, so not the worst outcome, but it could have been avoided, which is the sad part.
Try me. Run them through.
What you may have noticed is I try and use my ultimate on Swain whenever possible, because at the moment he's got 21 kills out of the 30 for their team, so he's really strong right now and I don't want to waste it on anybody else if possible.
Is this supposed to be a challenge? To the death.
Okay, so looking really strong right now, and this is the point at which I start hard inting, just because I get way too overconfident and I think I can take on everything.
Precision and grace. Destroyed a turret. Shut down.
Such online fun.
An ally has been slain.
Don't ask why I went back. I know that was really stupid. I should have just left, but I think that was Swain's ultimate. I'm not sure. I don't actually know what his ultimate looks like, so I didn't know it was going to land like that and I would just die. The reason why I actually went back was because I saw Diana's ultimate and it effectively did no damage on me, and the little damage that I did, I had quickly recovered because of the amount of lifesteal that I have, because I have 2 lifesteal items now, and I also have Fleet Footwork, Bloodline, etc. So the little health that I did lose, I gained back very quickly. So I thought, oh, I'm on low health, I can gain it back by a few attacks, but it didn't turn out that way, so unfortunately we died.
In the blink of an eye.
At once.
So again, you can see that I tried to rush my ultimate on Swain, and of course the idea was to get Swain killed, and once that happens, then the rest of the team I think are pretty easy to kill. But with Swain alive, it caused a big problem, and Zhonya's just lasts way too long in a situation like that. I know it's only 2.5 seconds, but it feels like a lifetime, and he just got away, which is a bit unfortunate.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
Run them through.
Oh, and for those that didn't know, as you would have seen just there, Fiora's Q, because it moves you a short distance forward, it can actually take you through terrain, which technically doesn't make sense, but it works kind of like the distance of Flash, but about half of that. So if you have thin walls, you have to like press yourself up against the wall completely, and you will be able to make it through those, as long as they're thin enough.
Ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
So it's at this point that I realize I need to try and pick Swain out when he's alone, or maybe with one other person at most, because when he's with his team, I just can't seem to kill him. It's just too much. So he's very easily killable, but he needs to be alone.
Others try. I succeed.
So again, not the best situation. I shouldn't really be going for the 1v1s. I just jumped in out of instinct, but we should really be split pushing because we're a little bit ahead compared to how they have progressed, because the top inhibitor is vulnerable. If I was just to split push, then we might be able to put ourselves ahead and finish this game quickly.
Such unlike fine style. Insolent peasant.
Enemy double kill. You have been slain.
Honestly, even though we all died, I mean, we have the soul now, which really puts our team much ahead of theirs. So I think it was worth it. 4 deaths for a soul, definitely. 4 deaths for a Drake, not so much.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Precision and grace.
That was huge for our team. We got Swain, which means we can probably progress the most at this point while he's down.
At once. Run them through.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Diana keeps poking with her Q, but she just can't do anything.
Has destroyed an inhibitor.
Okay, so 2 inhibitors down. That is huge for our team. So even if they do win a couple of team battles, I'm sure we can come out on top just by the progression. And again, the arrogance has started to come back because I just chose to teleport right in front of Swain. Ooh, Swain's trying to be cheeky. Ooh, almost escaped, but very well placed by Swain.
Triple kill.
Now that I have all the lifesteal items that I need, I'm just going for some type of attack damage, magic resist combination because I'm tired of Swain draining half my health with one ability. So I went for this thing. I don't usually buy it, but whatever this sword thing is. Also, as I was just saying to my team, is even though they won that team battle, they got 5 kills, we only got 1, but they couldn't do anything. They couldn't attack, they couldn't go for a victory because they had to clean up their base. Because they had 2 lanes of minions with super minions that they have to sort out before they can do anything. So that's why getting inhibitors is so huge.
Shots rude, shots
At this stage of the game, Swain should know better than to stay alone, so I think that kill literally got us the win.
I have no equal.
An enemy has been slain.
One step ahead.
Slain.
And that's the game.